So I got my publishing deal in Nashville. A guy named Rafe Van Hoy, who I'd met in California. I was playing in a honky tonk in the San Fernando Valley called the Playtime Lounge. And he and his partner, Deborah Allen, used to come in there from time to time when they were in California. And I met them and played them some songs. We became friends. And Rafe said if I came to Nashville, he would get me a publishing deal, which is like, wow, okay. So I had some demos that I had done in California, and I played them for a guy at Tree International Publishing Company, a guy named Don Gant, and he liked the songs and wanted to sign me to a publishing deal. One of the songs I had with me was not finished. It was half done. It was started by my brother Richard, who had this great start off to a chorus and a really great musical hook. And that song really stuck in my head. When I got to Nashville, I worked on it and worked on it. And finally it came up with what I thought was a workable lyric and a melody that was, worthy of his chorus melody. It was pitched immediately to Billy Sherrill at Columbia, who was cutting a record on Johnny Duncan. And so it was pretty exciting. This is like the first, I hadn't even been here a year. So it was really exciting to have this going on. I was going to have a song cut by a guy who had chart records and a great producer. It was going to be his next single. And talk about charts. I was off the charts thinking about, oh my gosh, this can't actually be happening. And yet it was. And so the song plugger, a guy named Dan Wilson, who had pitched the song to Billy Sherrill, came into the publishing company, spinning a record on his finger, which was the single, a copy of the single that was coming out. And I was, you can imagine, pretty excited. And it was amazing because two guys that I had met, who I've mentioned before in some of these posts, Bobby Braddock and Curly Putman, they wanted to be like supportive of me hearing my first single that ever came out, and it was like amazing. So I was sitting on the couch between Curly and Bobby listening to this record, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So the song kicks off, it's got a string section going on, which kind of took me by surprise. I thought it was a bit more straight ahead country thing. And then Johnny Duncan starts reciting the lyric. And I was like, what is happening here? And I was stunned by this. So they go through the first chorus, and then the first verse, and then he sings the chorus. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're moving forward now. And then I get to the second verse, a little turnaround, it modulates up a key, the strings come in, and he starts reciting the second verse. And I thought for sure at this point he was going to sing this melody that I had labored over for so long. And it struck me, and I started laughing. I mean, I was kind of, I don't know what it was, whether I was in shock or it just sounded ridiculous to me, quite honestly. Yet I was thrilled to have this song, and at that point, Bobby Braddock leaned over to me and he said, "You'll get used to it. They've been making music out of my songs for years." I never got used to it.